Hello, I'm Sophia Lou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys, and welcome to this week's video in which I'm going to do another Mushroom Hunters piece. You guys have been requesting another Mushroom Hunters piece for quite a while, so I thought I'd fulfill that request as well as kick off my holiday month of videos, in which all my videos throughout most of December will be Christmas related. As you already know, I have done 6 other Mushroom Hunters videos before, and if you haven't checked them out, I highly do recommend checking them out. Mushroom Hunters is a series of illustrations I do in a storybook style, following the characters Cap, Freya and Gus. They live in a world where they kind of hide themselves away from the outside world, and they sell the mushrooms that they hunt for the market and for medicinal purposes, but other than that they pretty much live off the land. Mushroom Hunters is a series of illustrations I am working on for a children's book that I'd love to pitch. So the style of these illustrations is very inspired by older children's storybooks with illustrators such as like Arthur Rackham, John Tenniel, stuff like that. Is very inspiring to me, so I'm paying homage to them with these illustrations. So a few people have asked me, what would a Mushroom Hunters Christmas look like? And this is exactly what I wanted to draw. I decided to draw the Christmas feast or the holiday feast. Personally, my favourite part of any holiday is the actual celebration of that holiday. And my favourite part about Christmas is the food. So I thought I would draw something representing that. And for them, they have a giant roasted mushroom with some potatoes, broccoli, peas and some carrots and mashed potatoes. And there is a little bit of gravy in there as well, if you can find the gravy boat. The whole idea with them is that because they live off the land, they don't really eat meat. They are vegetarian, so to speak. Well, I would say they're more pescatarian than vegetarian, because sometimes they do eat fish as well, but they don't eat meat. They use the chickens for eggs and stuff like that, so it's something to do with that I thought that they wouldn't have a roasted meat for Christmas. They would have a giant mushroom, plus the fact that they're mushroom hunters, it kind of made sense for them to have that. So what I'm using here is mixed media paper. I'm using my Unipin fine liner to do all the line work. There is a lot of line work in this. It did take quite a while for me to do a lot of the line work, just because I was trying to figure out where I wanted stuff to be placed, how I wanted to do certain things, and of course the overall layout. There is a lot in this that could be fixed. Some of the perspective is slightly off, as well as certain areas need to be fixed. I've not quite finalised the design of the inside of the house yet, so I'm still figuring out where I want things. If you don't know, they live underneath a tree, like a giant hill, and the tree sits on top of it. So they live in the hill underneath the tree, which is almost like a cabin based area. And so as to not damage the tree, they try and do as little as possible to damage it. There is a fireplace in there, but there is a chimney that's dug out which avoids the roots. So it's kind of like they live in like a little hobbit home. I kind of take an inspiration of a lot of fantasy novels for these sort of things, just because I grew up with them and they inspire me so much today with my illustrations and what I want to do. So this is the final look over the line work and the details that were in there, and then Bella just decided that she wants to come and say hi as well. It's been quite a while since Bella's been on camera, so I couldn't leave that clip out. I think the hardest part for me with this piece was definitely the colouring. I was trying to keep the colours warm and inviting to make it look quite homely, to make it look like you want to be a part of that area, to make you feel warm inside and feel like the sort of environment that they're in. And I kind of hope I've achieved that. There's parts that I would fix, especially within the colouring. I don't actually have a computer at the moment. Well, I don't have my Mac at the moment because my Mac unfortunately died, And normally what I would do is, if I was really struggling with the colour base, I would scan the piece in and edit the colours around in Photoshop to see which one would work best for me, or I would scan it in and print some lines off and then just do some quick colour wash down with some test pieces to find out. But I didn't really have time to do that, and my partner's computer, which we use for the editing, it's okay, but it's not the best. The Photoshop is not the best on there, so it was just, I just had to kind of bite the bullet and deal with it. So it was kind of trying to use all these warm colours without like compromising, making it just, it's all red and it's all green and it's all browns, even though the tonal range of their place and their colours is quite earthy anyway. I didn't want it to be over the top. Just as a PSA, some of you may have noticed that one side of my videos has gotten quite dark lately. This is actually only due to the fact that I have one daylight bulb which lights up my entire desk for my videos. I am working on fixing that. I will be getting a second daylight bulb. Also, the fact as well is that the weather has gotten quite dark lately. I think it starts getting dark around about 4 o'clock. So I do apologise if like parts of the video are slightly dark or dim. I'm just trying to work the best with what I've got, and I do apologise if, because I noticed a few complaints in a few of the videos. I'm really sorry. I am working on fixing that. I do want to get a second light for the other side, just so then the light balances out on both sides, but right now I'm dealing with what I've got, so that's a small apology there. I do hope you guys forgive me for that. So here I'm using my Windsor and Newton promarkers as normal. I decided that this piece really called for a lot of strong colour tones, so I decided to do a lot of it with marker and then build on top with coloured pencil to create a almost like a gradient effect and give the piece some texture that I wasn't be able to create quite with markers. It's something I really love. I love using mixed media. So normally I would do the water with the Mushroom Hunters pieces. I've traditionally always done a watercolour background and then built on top with markers. But this time I decided that because I wanted quite strong, bold colours, that markers was the best route to go for. As always, if you are unsure on what equipment I've used, I will list the full list down below. I know you guys have been really excited to see more Mushroom Hunters, and I am very excited to do these pieces for you. The only problem is that these pieces can take quite a bit of time to do. I think in the end it was around about 8 or 9 hours it took to do the overall piece, which was done in like 2 sit-ins. So it's when you do these pieces, it is quite a long time that I'm sinking into these pieces, and the planning that goes into it as well. Sometimes it's not as simple as just sitting down and drawing the Mushroom Hunters, because it requires so much thinking with the background and the X, Y, and Z, because I want them to have the story that tells them through. The background sometimes helps a lot of the illustration, and the backgrounds are still a big weak point for me, which is something I genuinely do want to work on with the new year and carry on working with to help improve my art and get better. I hope you guys like these pieces. I feel like I put a lot of myself into them, and I feel very happy with the end result. Like I said, there is parts that I would fix, parts that I would go back and improve on, just to, like, you know, when you see a piece and you've done it, and then after you've done it you can see the flaws in it. I find that even though that can be quite daunting and it can be you almost like putting yourself down, at the same time, if you're noticing flaws in your work and you can see how you can improve, that's how you can apply yourself to it. Don't ever get yourself down by your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and use them to improve in your work, because that's the most important part of it, really. learning and getting better with your work. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed more mushroom hunters. I'm very excited to do more of these illustrations for you guys, and let me know what you guys would like to see next with these guys, mushroom hunters. We've had a winter piece, we've had an autumn piece, we've had their house, we've not had the inside of their house, and we've had a spot illustration as well as a spring and the nighttime piece. So let me know what you'd like to see next. So here's a few final looks over the overall illustration. I'm quite happy with it. It invokes a lovely warm feeling, and this will be available as a print up on my store when the store is updated. The store is due a huge update. I've just not had time to get round to it, and it should be updated within the next few weeks. I'll do a video announcement for it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, the equipment is listed below. Maybe like, comment and subscribe. Next week's video will be a fan art video, so I wonder who will be turning to a Christmas masquerade. Ooh. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and as always folks, stay creative.